All right. So welcome everyone. I thought I'll give a status update of the call I had with Protocol Labs on the status of PyLib P2P implementation. They confirmed that whatever they have out there is not ready for use for production, and forget not being supported. It lacks several features which we already discovered. Their recommendation was to probably go about building a pure Python implementation, which would help in the long run. But if we are looking for a quick turnaround, they suggested, like what we already heard from Stokes, is probably run a sidecar of the Rust or a Go implementation and then create a wrapper around it. They did point me to a library of a similar Go binding, which was available, and sorry, a Go. What do you call uh, a Go standalone daemon and a Python binding that speaks to that daemon. However, that project again is not maintained, and apparently they said that it's not fit enough for for use in production. So we have to take a call on how do we wish to proceed. So I defer to the candid wallet team, because they are the ones who would need it the most, on which way forward they wish to go. Drew, to update you, I did ask Protocol Labs if they would be willing to sponsor, provide a grant, because we are building this on behalf of or for their purpose. They said that they can't take an immediate decision on it, but because there are several people using the libp2p library, this could likely be a DAO, or what they call some kind of a cohort decision, and which is likely to take a year before it comes, before they come likely to come to any decision on that front. But they're willing to support us in any way we need. And so I defer to Sharif if he can probably give us an update on how the testing has been going. And yeah, Sharif, go ahead.
Yes, I tried running Rust lib2b uh, in Rust as a sidecar,
Hmm.
and I think it's going well. I think this is our best option for now because maintaining lib2b in Python or writing lib2b from scratch, I guess it will be too much work. So yeah, I think our best option for now is running the lib2b service as a sidecar to Python.
All right. Cool. I'll then probably share certain documentations and test suits that they wanted us to test the new wrapper service against. Once you have your service ready, we can probably get that on board, and then we can work it out.
Yeah. Okay. I just about the service. I will not be using. I tried using by OY2, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's working, but I guess it's best suited if I want to call a specific function and I'm expecting a return value. If
Mm-hmm.
I want to run a server, which lib2b is, it will be some type of server. It's actually better be like for now. I tried like multiple ways to just build it in Rust and then running it from within Python as a process. I managed to do this, and I managed to like extract all the output from the Rust binary to Python
Okay.
without using Bio2. So it will be actually from like it will be the Rust type, the Rust part. It will be for now pure Rust. It won't. I won't add the Bio2 to it because I don't see that in this type of service I will need the wrapper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be using Rust directly. Okay. That probably would help then. All right. Yeah. That's fine then. Then we probably drop the plan of PyLib P2P, and yeah.
Yeah, of course, for now, and I think it will run as yeah, I think it will be fine. It will go fine. Yeah. For now, it's everything is like going well. I'm trying to work with the academia discovery for now, and I think it will be yeah, everything. I think it will go well.
All right. Thank you. So yeah, the other thing, status update on Skanda's P2P implementation, it's going on. We were slightly delayed because we ran into certain operational issues deploying our bundler on a few L2 chains and making it compatible with Nethermind, which Fuel's network are using. We managed to get it done. So the progress has not been as much as we'd like to, but we are now cracking on request response setup, and yeah, we'll keep you informed on how that goes. Yeah, that's all I had on my agenda. So if anybody else has anything to discuss, please feel free to do so. Dro, do you have an update on the reference implementation, or is there anything you'd like to bring?
No, I don't have much update. We're on vacation, and then several guys, not me, were in Prague, so we didn't make much progress. Regarding the sidecar, what I was thinking, maybe we should not standardize it, but define the way we use RPC with such a sidecar, and then
Okay.
we can actually can use this protocol to test minimal integration. Like if you have an RPC call
Mm-hmm.
to do the communication with the mempool, which is the other side of the mempool, then two bundlers of any version can use this RPC call and talk together, and each one looks at the other as the rest of the mempool, which means they are creating a mempool of two bundlers. You need a real sidecar or a real protocol in order to support more than two, but for two, they can just work with each other. Maybe it's a way to go. I'm trying to think out loud whether it's
You
better
you're
to.
what you describe is more kind of a light client implementation of a bundler, right?
It's a light mempool. If I have an
Yeah.
RPC call to send something to the mempool and the equivalent RPC call to get something from the
Mm-hmm.
mempool is only slightly different from RPC. It's an up. I think there's just few more parameters like the block this user of work tested against. This
Right.
is basically the difference. Did I miss anything? I'm not sure. So
Uh,
if that is the case, then we can define this RPC, and then two bundlers using this RPC can work as if with a shared mempool between them.
got it.
You can't work with more than two because you have only one RPC call to the mempool, to the sidecar.
Yeah.
But and you're sending only to another one. But for interop and the mempool, it can be used.
Got it.
Okay. By the way, one thing I was working on is I try to formalize the rules, the validation rules. Right now, they are written not in a clear way, in a formal way in the EAP and in the bundler. So I wanted to create a list, numbered list of the rules and attacks against them, so it's going to be easy to, even in the implementation, specify clearly
Right.
what rules you are doing, and also to formalize what whitelisted entities means and such.
Okay.
So there's not much progress in the implementation itself, but we will release it soon.
Okay. The other thing there, I believe all the bundlers, apart from the reference implementation, seem to be failing with one test in the test suite alone. And we think it's something to do with the data, though. We are not sure. I mean, the question is open to others to raise. Did they manage to get a fix for that, or do we know what to do? Uh,
Uh, I think I have submitted the BR to the testing suite, and I guess it was passing all the tests. Not remember this exact test. I remember this test. There is one test that was failing all the bundlers, right?
yep,
But
that's the one.
I think the latest one, the latest version of the bundler like fixes this issue. But I will try to remember what was exactly the problem, and then maybe or share in Telegram.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Nothing else
I will
from
also
you.
look at this test. I will also look again at this test. I'm not sure specifically. I'm not near my computer right now. I will look and understand what it means.
All right. And I think there has been no further execution, at least on the bundler Spectus website. We can't see any other run after the 20th of March. So we don't know the current status of each bundler. We should probably try.
Okay, I'll test whether it's a bug in the UX or a real such submission. I think we did run tests after March.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it doesn't update. It's not reflected in the UI. So yeah.
Okay, I'll check that too.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Any other questions from anyone?
We started on our side looking into whitelisting the USDC contract, and I'm wondering what others are doing right now. So it's actually Garbit, who's working on Trampoline, who reached out, and he was looking into implementing Pimlico's Paymaster. And the reason for it is that they wanted to approve the USDC for the paymaster and give it its allowance, and it cannot do it without bypassing the storage. So that's why we're starting to look into it, and I'm wondering what others are doing.
We are looking at implementing a paymaster as well. So, and we were looking at Pimlico's implementation. So, yeah, I think we would need to do the same thing that you suggested. Do you have idea on how to proceed? And if my understanding is correct, I think Biconomy also have a token paymaster, don't they? How are they handling it, and which tokens are they considering?
I'm not sure. Someone from Biconomy here?
Yeah,
I'm here. Yeah. Sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't.
So, how is Biconomy handling the exception in the case of USDC, because there's a need to access the storage?
Yeah, I need to check and come back to it. But I do have one question related to USDT. So, have any of you have faced the issue where you take the approval of like 10 USDT, and that like 8 is used, and now you want to give 10 USDT allowance more? So in that case, in USDC DT on Ethereum and Polygon, you cannot directly increase the allowance. You have to first make it 0, then you can send another transaction
Okay,
to
I
check.
think that's probably because they're using the older version of the contracts. But I mean, in our case, we are not using USDT. We are looking only at USDC. But yeah.
Okay. For USDC, I'll come back to you, I think.
All right.
I'll have to check with Chirag.
Thank you. Mark, what was your plan or on USDC? Setting up an alt mem pool, right?
So at the moment, it would be just like running a hosted like a bundler for that specific case. But
Correct.
Sharif, on the specific implementation, Sharif, I don't know if you started investigating or not. I'll let you, Sharif.
Okay, we'd be happy to support that alt mempool as well, because once P2P kicks in, we need to support for that as well. So yeah, I'm happy to coordinate once you keep me in the loop when you're discussing the rules, and we can set that forward, because we've had a couple of clients asking for that too, paying gas using USDC.
Perfect.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you. And
Yes,
I've also been
the
reaching
idea
out.
is that whitelisting.
Sorry, go on.
The idea with the whitelisting, we want to make sure that the whitelisting will not open you to anything, to any attack. So the worst thing that can happen is that it USDC, so that it's going to be very
Joe, your voice
will be throttled down.
Bro, you're breaking off. We can't hear you clearly. Is it me or everybody is? Oh,
Can
yeah,
you hear
it's
me?
better now.
Okay. what I'm saying, we are working a little bit on the rules to understand how we can do less with whitelisting. Whitelisting is like super mode, super user mode, and if you trust an untrustworthy entity, it might lead to denial of service. We try to build in a way that it won't. So it's going to be a no-brainer to whitelist entities. So there is some work, again, not something yet we can publish, but we are working on that to make it as simple as possible.
All right.
Right now, the idea is that whitelist will be for specific storage slots. Like with USDC, we trust only the implementation and pausable slot. And if these slots change, yes, it will invalidate entities in the mempool, and maybe for a period of time would throttle it down, but it will not block the entire mempool or other user ops.
If you go ahead with that setup, would it still work in the case of a proxy of USDC? Because on few chains, I believe they have deployed USDC as a proxy, right?
Yes, I know. Everywhere USDC is a proxy.
Yeah.
We actually pausable is the visible flag. The other flag is implementation.
Okay.
There are two global flags they have, and maybe it won't be the only one. So if we could make it into the canonical rules in a way that it will not block the system, and we will be able to throttle down without letting any entity use it as a denial of service against other entities. This is the tricky part. As long as we can keep it, maybe we can do without whitelist. I'm not sure it is possible.
Okay.
But at least if we do whitelist, to make sure it is as simple and go ahead.
Got it. Andrew, any idea when you're likely to remove support for V4 entry point contract? And how long should we continue to support it as a bundler?
I don't understand the question. When we should remove it?
Remove support for it completely, because at the moment it's deprecated, but our bundler does support that entry point contract as well. Do you have a date where we completely remove support for it?
I don't think we can. We can support it at all. Like, which bundler support it?
I mean, Skanda does.
The reference bundler. The reference bundler supports only
5.
The V5, V4, V6, because they're the same. Once the interface changed, we don't support the old one.
Okay.
And the reference never tried to support multiple versions. And look, it's an interesting question. We don't have right now a mechanism to first of all, to know how many users and then communicate that a given bundler is about to be deprecated.
Yeah.
It's hard, even impossible to do in a decentralized way such an upgrade. In theory, anyone can continue to support if they like. If any bundler still supports a given version of an entry point, then users can still use it. We are still in a very early stage in that I can say we can simply drop it. But yes, we do need to think about migration once, for example, we will have V7 or a later version.
Yeah.
We are in production. How do we support and how do we communicate it? Because it will require an action from each account by itself to upgrade.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is good we have so while technically I don't think we need it all to support version 4. It is good we are thinking about it because we will need it in the future.
Right. So we'll probably add it in the agenda for some future meeting to discuss plans and leave it for now.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions? All right. If nobody, then fine. Thanks everyone for joining, and yeah, have a nice day.
All right. Thanks everyone.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.